jumping right into it.
Yeah, let's go. Let's
Come on,
get it.
Get into it.
It's Black Month.
Black Month?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The only month where we can be black.
Okay.
Apparently.
You know.
I mean,
every corporate company stands with us.
And why is a Black History? Why do we?
I never liked this month, like the it being called Black History Month.
But the fact that I'm just now seeing content about, Black history is what pisses me off. Is because it's just like y'all had all year.
Why isn't it? I'm good. So go ahead.
I'm just saying.
Cause I just want to say, like, why ain't it just history?
That, like, it should just be. Why is Black history?
Why it got to be Black history?
They're like, the whites don't need to know about this.
Like, why ain't it just American? It happened in America. Why ain't it American history?
And then it always start from slavery, like.
Right.
They don't tell you about.
What the fuck they was doing?
You said slavery? Black history.
Nah, Black history.
Black American history is what you want to say, right? Yeah, that's why I'm not gonna say I don't like the month, but I've never really done anything pertaining to Black history in itself. Like after I got out of school.
I mean, I think it's just a good, month to celebrate. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we celebrate each other all the time, but like, I don't know. It's just, I guess we can.
It's a good excuse. To celebrate.
And people that we might not know about, you know what I'm saying? Like learning. People.
No, I mean, I never find out about nobody I don't know about. Like, if we really want to be honest, it's still the Martin Luther. Still the same old, everybody posting the same.
I was say Lisa Parks, Rosa Parks.
Yeah, Rosa
Malcolm
Parks.
X.
Everybody putting.
I was about to say Dr. J.
Dr. J.
I don't know what's going on in my mind right now.
Him too. Like all of them. Muhammad.
We should just start making up Black history facts. Who really gonna go back and check it?
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, nobody. Didn't they cancel critical race theory so can they even learn about Black history?
I think critical race is different than just Black history.
They can probably learn about some Black history, but they just not gonna learn about the Black trauma.
We ain't even learn about the real Black trauma.
That's what I'm saying. So
that's the crazy thing about it.
Yeah, no,
they watered that shit down.
It's just a funny month because it's too much history to just focus on in 1 month. That's why I be like,
like even though we gonna get like one a week, it's like a fact a day. Like I'm not gonna go and research and like do my due diligence on this person this one day.
Exactly.
For 28 days, I'm gonna like.
It's just not gonna happen.
It's a lot.
Because I don't do that any other day. Like
exactly.
You know what I mean? I don't just research history. Like if I was a historian, then maybe, but like that's just not what I do. But I digress.
Well, say you think about it, if we don't trust the media, why do we trust history?
That's a good
But the thing is,
you can trust history. You can't trust the people telling the history.
But that's history.
That's what I mean.
That's history.
That's the history that we know.
Until like you go and really deep dive into things yourself, you really don't know what you're studying. Or like you said, like even the stories in grade school up until we got to college or up until we got to an age where we were really interested in looking at what the truth is, or like social media, it was like bringing out some of like what the actual truth is in history. We were learning half the truth or even less than half the truth, like a scintilla of the truth.
Nigga, I thought Abraham Lincoln was like a white savior growing up.
Exactly. Like all of these things that we've learned throughout our, upbringing. It's just like Justin was saying, how do you trust that that's history when you find out that it isn't all of history?
It's a part of history.
Yeah.
So you peeping now, like, because the history that we living through now, technically, is gonna get told one day.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like we don't really trust the media
who telling it,
whatever they saying. So they can go back and say like Donald Trump was the greatest president ever. Yeah. People that lived through that would say like that ain't facts. You know what I'm saying? That ain't true. But who gonna, we gonna all be dead. So who gonna go back and be like, yo, that's wrong. The same thing with the Abraham Lincoln said. You saying like he's like a savior at some point, but if you really lived back then, like, no, he fucked the slaves. That's what he was doing.
He only did that, you know what I'm saying, because it was an advantage for him. Like,
oh yeah.
So it's like the way they teach things,
it's wild.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, moving forward, like you was talking. Now I'm thinking like, how they gonna tell the story of Colin Kaepernick? You know what I'm saying? Like, Martin Luther King was a fucking rebel and all of this when he was doing what he was doing. But now it's a day, it's a celebration. Everybody want to quote him and how he was such a brilliant man.
Did y'all know he ad-libbed "I Have a Dream" jump?
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, he said he ad-libbed that part.
Yeah, I have a dream. That blah blah. Yeah.
Hey man, it's the greatest ad lib of all time. Better than Mama. All of that. He got Martin Luther King got the greatest ad lib.
So he was getting his rocks out too.
he was spitting too. Yeah. He was spitting.
But yeah. Like I said, but we digress. And we're gonna move and think more positively about this month. Celebrate and celebrate it. Yeah,
it still should be something that we, like you said, we should celebrate. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be constricted to 1 month. Mm-hmm. It honestly should be throughout the whole year. And at least we should get like a long one, like August or something.
They're gonna give us the shortest month.
Yeah, at least get something. But it is something. Since it is a thing, we got to acknowledge it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying it in a bad way, but we got to acknowledge it. Yeah. I want to tell them where they can find us, or we just going to skip that?
You can find us at Open Gym Pod. That's OPENGEMPOD on Instagram, on Twitter, TikTok now, big TikToks. Facebook, you can Facebook and YouTube, you can just search Open Gym the podcast and you'll be able to find us. So, man, make sure y'all go subscribe to the YouTube, follow us on Twitter, social Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of that good stuff, man. You can find me personally at _Uncle Leon.
You can find me at Living Life Nice, LIVIN, LIFE
BNAG, BNAG.
Yes, sir.
Yep. All right, so for the Black History Month fact of this week, I've had a couple of them that I want to talk about, but I want to do one that we already know, but take it a little step further. Okay. So we all know about Rosa Parks and her story. Mm-hmm. And we all heard stories about how she wasn't the first one that did what she did. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to talk about that girl or that woman or that lady. Actually, y'all know how old she was. But yeah, it's another young woman that came before Rosa Parks. So I want to talk about her. Mm-hmm. So it says 9 months before Rosa Parks, there was a young woman named Claudette Colvin. On December 1st, 1955, Rosa Parks refused to relinquish her seat on a public bus. Parks' protest sparked the Montgomery bus protest and galvanized the civil rights movement. Yet she was not the first African-American individual in Montgomery to stand up against injustice in such a manner. On March 2nd, 1955, 15-year-old Claudette Colvin, and she was young, was riding home on a city bus after a long day at school. A white passenger boarded, and the bus driver ordered Claudette to give up her seat. Claudette refused. As she told Newsweek, I felt like Sojourner Truth was pushing down on one shoulder and Harriet Tubman was pushing down on the other, and I was glued to my seat. Colvin was arrested for her civil disobedience and briefly put in jail. The NAACP and other civil rights groups considered rallying around Colvin's case and their campaign against Alabama's segregation laws before focusing efforts on Rosa Parks' protests 9 months later. Nevertheless, Colvin was one of the 4 plaintiffs in the landmark Browder versus Gale case of 1956, which ruled that the segregation laws in Montgomery and Alabama state were unconstitutional. Okay. So let's give it up. Hand applause.
Hand claps, applause. all of that for Claudette Colvin, man.
Claudette Colvin, man. 15 years old. 15 years old, man.
Very brave.
We appreciate
That's a different time right there, bro. You had to grow up. Like, we thinking we got to grow up quick. At 15, she was making grown woman decisions like that. Like, they had to grow up quick.
People like that are the reason why we able to, you know what I'm saying, move how we move today. So thank you. Thank you, Claudette.
Yeah.